Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer, is here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
That is a damn fine slouchy beanie you got on.
It is comfy.
Is that a Tom and Dan slouchy beanie?
It is a Tom and Dan slouchy beanie.
Is that
Thank
a
you
Tom-
to Eric the Merchman who got it for me since you guys gave away mine.
Yeah, well, you know. I mean,
Got it to me in 2 days.
He brought
quick.
two
One-
because he knows that we'd probably give away one.
one to
Right.
give away, one to
Gave
misplace,
away both.
and then one for you. And then we misplaced both of them. One of them I gave to a listener who said I was incredibly short. That's
No,
what I do.
she said, "Wow, you are that short."
Well,
That's
true.
different.
That's
than,
the quote.
Yeah.
And then I said, that's the phrase of the day that pays. And I gave her a slouchy beanie.
I guess people think we're lying when we talk about
Why
how short
would
you
anybody
are.
lie about that?
I don't know.
Why would you lie about
Maybe
that?
because we're like they.
Is that going to get us
assume-
more listeners if I lie about it and then they finally see me and they're like, you're not really short. I'm never listening again.
You lied to me.
Yeah, what would they? I don't. Well, anyway.
They would never meet me and be like, "Wow, you are that dumb." You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
don't know.
Well, they have
have
to
seen
talk
that.
to me for a
I
longer
have
period.
I've seen that on the cruise casino.
Yeah,
man.
I've seen that when they're sitting here. They don't say it to you, but they look at me and they give me the eyes. They give me the eyes. You know?
They really are bad at business.
But they don't say it out loud, like
No.
they do to you right
Yeah.
when they meet you.
Well,
first
because
thing.
I can't beat them up. You know what I mean? Like they look at me, they're like, it's like I think it's age old. Like it's almost like an instinct. You look at the person
They
and
just
your
blurt it
mind,
out.
subconsciously, your mind is looking, and you're like, no threat, small. Tell him, and you're like, yeah, you're short. Can't do anything about it.
I guess.
What are you gonna do about it?
Throw one good haymaker.
I mean, like it is
No,
a weird.
They don't
thing.
mean it to be mean.
No, they don't mean it
It's
to be
kind of like
mean.
if Manute Bowl
but it's not like
walked
they're
in, you'd be like,
pointing-
"Whoa, you are that tall."
I would not do that. I have met
I would do
many. I have met many basketball players that are the upper 6 and 7 feet tall, and I have never, because I was raised correctly.
There's two kinds of people: people that were raised right, and people like
He's right.
Tom.
I hate to say it.
We
but
have
he's
people
right.
at the restaurant when we have tall guests come
Yeah.
in. They're like, "Wow, you're tall," but like they're a person. Just let them sit down and eat their food.
Yeah,
Yeah,
know
but you
what?
have to scream
I
it.
have gained so much. I already thought
have
you were
to.
aces, man. I already thought you were the best. But the fact that Pat knows that had to do with my mom and my dad told me, yeah, you know, you're going to encounter some people in your life that have unfortunate, disfiguring, problems.
Well, then you're not
gonna
unfortunately
see, you're gonna
Not your
see-
business,
You're
not
gonna
your
see,
It's not disfigured.
You're gonna see and possibly do business with a horribly disfigured 5'2" man. Don't say anything about it. He just wants to eat his Hollerbach. Just let him sit there and eat his
no.
spatzel. Like, let him sit there and watch his daughter eat. He's got a daughter, by the way. He's 45 years old. So maybe some people would say, you know, this man has earned the right to not, as he enters his twilight years, bringing the plane down to put the rubber on the tarmac. He doesn't want to hear that. He doesn't want to hear that he's 5'2". Maybe, goddammit, he knows. Maybe every morning when he goes to put on his tiny little
No.
stunted pants, he looks into the mirror and he blanking knows. He
No.
knows what he is.
No, you're good with it. You wouldn't change anything, right? Chef Pat and Eric are here.
Yeah. No regrets. No regrets.
From Hollerbach Willow Tree Cafe.
What's up, guys?
I was in.
And Sam.
I think I scared
Hello.
Eric. Like, he looks scared. Scared.
What's happening?
You know, I'm just not a morning person. It's fine.
Eric was like, I wasn't gonna say how short you were, but now I am nothing.
Hey, you know, I know plenty of short people. It's fine.
I was in Sanford yesterday, and man, it's just it's booming. It's the amount of stuff that they're building in Sanford, and the amount of things going up, and like it's becoming more and more of a destination. And I'm telling you, it's I mean, we are, if not we're gonna be at the Key West of Central Florida. It's there.
It's already happening. What say you guys? I mean, you're there every day.
We're for it. You know, we've been there a long time, so we've seen Sanford grow a lot in the last 20 years, going on 21 years now that the Hollerbachs have been running the Willow Tree. And any growth is good growth. It brings people to the town, and the more people that come to town, the more people that can come through the restaurant and come through the businesses.
Yeah, buddy.
So I have the perfect thing for this weekend, and I was thinking about this when I was looking at the weather, right?
Just so you know, I don't condone Tom saying I have the perfect thing for this weekend and then cupping his balls.
No, I didn't do that.
I find that disgusting. And I know that people that aren't watching this on Twitch right now, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live, or on YouTube, Tom and Dan live. Please, sir, continue, but without the cupping.
So the high is 48. I don't even know. That's in Orlando. I think is it colder in
colder
Sanford?
in Sanford.
Yeah, I think I looked this morning. Saturday it's gonna be like 46, something like that.
Yeah. The high.
Yeah.
Low like 27, 28.
How do you guys handle? Are you guys cold weather people?
I'm a 6th generation Floridian. I do not like it. It's terrible.
Yeah, right there with you.
Yeah, I'm with you guys.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
It makes my bones hurt, like my fingers.
Puts me in a bad mood.
Yeah, it makes my phalanges hurt. It makes my toes hurt. And
Yeah.
then people clown me. Like my friend Summer, she loves it. And she'll just send me a text when she knows it's cold and be like, "How are your toes, you little baby?" They hurt.
My wife's
They
family
hurt.
from Canada's in, and they were swimming in the pool and swimming at the beach last week. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you're crazy.
The
people.
Brits do
So-
that. I hate it.
But this is an opportunity for an adventure, and I
Okay,
like
I
adventures.
like adventures.
And something like an experience,
Okay.
because it's like peak cold. You go up to Hollerbach's Beer Garden, right outside.
All right.
and then
beer outside, I've always
and
been.
you-
Beer outside was,
just-
even if it's cold, I've always been for that.
you bundle up and you're outside of the roof, cold as hell, like you're in Germany, right?
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
that's the Germany. That's the experience,
So
right?
actually, brandy is what the Germans will drink to warm you up when it's cold out.
She's a fine girl.
It's a fact. That's like some of the what are those dogs, like the Saint Bernards? They would have like
Yeah.
a brandy in the little barrels or the little around their little snoots around their necks.
Yep. Yeah.
So it could warm you up and thin your blood and that kind of stuff when you're stuck up on the mountain and freezing to death.
This is why I
No,
like.
I did read some science saying that alcohol will kill you faster.
Yeah, it will.
I think
You
it
know
just
what?
makes it not suck so
Yeah,
bad.
you know what?
It's like morphine, where they're like, "I will give you 2 shots."
But that
you're
dog,
not gonna make it.
but just seeing that dog and maybe getting a little bit of a puppy
Yeah,
hug, put
you-
a smile on my face
A
as I'm
buzz
dying.
and a puppy
yeah.
hug, and
yeah.
it's good to go.
You know what? If I'm dying, put the puppy in my arms and
Well,
let me cuddle him to death, please.
If you're in a life-threatening, you're gonna die of hypothermia
Give me a
experience.
shot.
That's a reverse
But-
Sarah McLachlan scenario right there, right?
But
the
it-
dog's holding you.
If you're cold, alcohol makes you feel warmer. And then if you're just hanging out on the rooftop of Hollerbach, you're going to feel warmer, and it's going to give you the effect you want. Because alcohol does make you feel warmer when you're in freezing cold.
It's true.
Yeah.
I haven't been in a scenario where alcohol hasn't been able to emulate any feeling. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it can be
It
anything to me.
yeah.
What do you want? Excitement? Love? Lust?
Yeah.
Anger? You know, I got them all.
It enhances everything.
Yeah, it enhances everything.
Yeah.
I like this bottle because it looks very old world and fancy. And one of the things, if I can pontificate for a second, that I dislike about modern day craft beer is that most of the labels are really edgy and fun, and they like take on Ghostbusters, or they do. Nah, dog. That's the way it should look. Holding that, you look like a fancy man. You look like a business person that has some worth.
Yep.
When I'm holding a can of like some sort of beer that has a skull on it wearing Oakley blades, I'm like, that's not cool.
We got lots of pictures of monks on our beer.
Yes.
And other than that, words.
Yeah.
And that's it.
12th century, old school cool, you know?
Yeah. The recipe is so.
So, Chef Pat, if you're drinking this, is there any food that would
Pair well with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, actually, at the market, we have rum balls, cake balls that have the
More
Osbox
alcohol.
brandy in it.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. It's just like we mush up the cake with chocolate ganache and brandy, and then make it into
my
balls,
God.
dip it in chocolate, and then you eat them.
Are you
Like
ready to
what are they
rumble?
truffles? I
Yes.
swear, Dan. I swear.
What? No one said that before. No one said, "Are you ready to rumble?"
Eric, that was your one job the last 15
damn
years
it.
as marketing director.
Yeah, come
Write
up
that
with
down.
as many
That's
wrestling
yours,
puns
man.
as
Tom and Dan's.
possible.
Are you get ready to
You know?
rumble?
We will be soon.
Tom and Dan's rumballs rumble. What about a rumballs rumble?
No, I like that. Yeah.
How do you guys feel about having
Rumball
little
Stillskin.
people wrestling within the restaurant? Because I hear Claremont, it's off the table in Claremont. Claremont, you can't do anything in Claremont anymore. No more
They're
ding
shutting it
dong.
down.
No more ding dong fights. No more micro wrestling. But we'll do it in
Paul
Sanford.
says we can do whatever we
Yeah,
want to
we'll
do.
do it in Sanford. Call
Yeah,
Paul.
Paul will do it.
We need micro championship wrestling and some rumballs. Stat.
We're always family friendly here in Sanford, right? It's fine.
So
Oh, he's lining up shots. Looks like this is gonna get serious.
So, Pat, what there's some things that are traditional for cold weather. Like I'm thinking of chili or that kind. Is there something the German
Goulash.
Okay, goulash.
Yes, I love
Hold
a
on
good
a second.
goulash.
Tell me what goulash, because goulash to me growing up.
Don't tell him it's embarrassing.
No,
Stop!
no, no.
Stop!
I already know.
Stop!
Let's hear the white
No.
trash swamp person goulash
No,
recipe.
Sam, I thought I got away from this. No, you're gonna do
I'll
it.
tell
are
you
No.
swamp. I'll tell you
Swamp
goulash.
goulash.
It's basically just hamburger meat, browned, right, with spaghetti sauce,
Gray
ragu.
meat, gray meat with Prego on it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
macaroni, right?
Macaroni and cheese, Kraft macaroni and cheese mixed together. My mom's like, "Here's goulash." I loved it. I was like, "Goulash."
Goulash.
Yeah.
It's French.
Yeah.
I do have a handful of people that will call me over to the table and be like, "This ain't goulash."
Was it my mom?
And I already know.
Monsieur, I need to speak to the.
Actually,
Chef,
Chef,
I think you
please.
got this wrong.
But yeah, so you mentioned chili for cold weather food, and we just did the chili cook-off. We came in second.
Hey,
we won the last two. We came in second this time.
That's really, really good.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
But my theory on chili is that it's really a German dish that German cowboy immigrants, when they came to Texas, as they migrated west, they took indigenous ingredients, the Mexican chilies, and made their beef stew with peppers, but it was different peppers, so you get chili instead of beef. I don't do beans in chili. We do like whole meat chunks, like smoked beef
More
and
like
smoked
Texas
pork
style.
belly. Yeah. Where it's like chunks that shred in your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real chili, I think.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think it's so much closer to goulash than what we think of chili and goulash.
Dig it. Oh my God, I'm so hungry. I forgot when you
I
guys
know.
come in, I start to freak the blank out.
But
I'm hungry.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, you go up and sit in that rooftop bar and in the
love it.
freezing cold. Yeah, I mean that's a.
So you guys have goulash at the restaurant?
We do have goulash all day, every day on the menu.
And it's more like this.
Yeah, it's a thick stew. It
Beef
comes in a
stew
big bowl. We
hybrid
serve
deal?
it with a nice big slice of rye bread cut in half and some sour cream to mix in. It's so good. It's so good.
That's amazing.
Get an order of fries. Dip your fries in it.
Also, rye bread, if we can talk about that for a second, that is an underappreciated bread that I love that you just can't. It seems like it's harder to find. Like in my house growing up, because my mom and dad really this is a weird thing to like, but they really liked patty melts.
Yeah.
And they would cook, occasionally, they would cook a patty melt.
Ooh,
Like
seeds.
at the house, but nobody. Tell me the last time you've heard of anybody just like other than Chef Pat, completely off the table.
Oh.
But like of people that are just like, oh yeah, we whipped up a patty melt last night,
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
caramelized
Yeah,
onions and
yeah.
But we did that, we did it in my house, and we almost always had rye bread in the house, which is again
It's old school. It's old school.
Yeah. I wonder what that is because I remember ordering more patty melts as a kid.
it was an old
I
man's
stopped-
it's an old man's hamburger's a patty melt,
then I
dumb old man hamburger.
I stopped doing it for whatever reason. I never order.
Delicious,
Dude,
though.
patty
I know.
melt. You got the butter. You got the grilled onions. I think traditionally there's mustard on a patty melt. I might be wrong on that, but I think there is.
Right, Swiss cheese usually.
Swiss cheese,
Yeah.
It's
rye
like
bread.
the weird Thousand Island ketchup mayo stuff.
Some people do that, yeah, like a Frisco style
Yeah,
is what
yeah.
they called that at like a what do you call it? Steak and shake.
I
thank
love a Frisco melt and a chili five-way. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that.
I love Steak and Shake until they started putting underneath it that by Bugatti or whatever, the developing group that bought them, because it's like like underneath it looked more like a cologne. It'd be like Steak and Shake, and then it'd be like by Versace, by Versace. It's like very odd to me.
Steak and shake.
Yeah, I didn't like it like that. Are we drinking? Let's drink.
I smelled this and my brain released it like endorphins of like.
Is that all you got to do now?
Yeah, I don't
Okay,
know.
Chef Pat, Eric, what do we got here? What is this?
Yeah, so this is Osbox German brandy. It's pretty classic brandy. Got nice vanilla flavors to it. It's a little smooth, smoother than you'd think. For something 40 proof or 40%. So yeah, give it a shot.
What's the difference in 40 proof and 40%?
I never understood.
I'm
the
not a
proof
math
thing.
guy.
Yeah.
I
I think it just doubles it, right? Like that's all it
Ooh,
is.
that cleaned my sinuses out.
Let me.
I took it because you guys said
Gross.
go, and then you started
yeah.
chit-chatting. So,
No problem.
feel that fire?
Oh,
Feel
it's
that fire?
Fresh.
It feels so warm.
That is so fresh.
Toasty now.
Take my clothes off.
Whoa, don't do that. Just take the hoodie off. My God, sir.
I think I want to make some goulash nude right now. Never
Nude
wanted-
losh.
Yeah, nude losh. Good nude.
So Chef Pat, when do we reorder our pins? Because I've seen more and more BDMs and listeners take pictures of their pins. So I'm imagining, I'm just doing the math. I think we did 150. We must be getting low. We're gonna have to come up with a new design, right?
Yeah, we're getting pretty low. I think I'm down to like my last bag and a half or something like that out of
Okay.
the case.
So
Have you thought of anything or what you've wanted to do?
Well, I feel like we're winter, but by the time we order them and get them in, we'll be moving into spring. I'm
Yeah.
not
What
sure.
if you guys are rum balls? Little rum balls.
No, okay, all right.
Rum balls?
It's hard.
Well, I want to be. I want to be
So we
a.
had gummy bears.
I want to be a small Michael Buffer, and I want to be yelling, "Let's get ready to rum balls!"
Yeah.
We need that pin.
And then I want Tom on hands on his hips, nude, making goulash. Right?
Yeah, really.
I mean, that's a pin,
Yeah.
people. You
With
want?
that pen in a little blacked out baggie.
Yeah.
like they do with porno at 7-Eleven.
Tiny paper
Exactly.
bags.
Put a little.
I think Dan should be a potato pancake, and Tom should be the pork shank.
All right, pork shank and
pancake in the morning. That's like the easiest. We can totally do that right now. It's pork shank and pancake in the mornings.
All right, Pabone. So you heard them. Just come up with something.
Wow.
Pabone, come look through the
You
restaurant.
come up with everything.
See what you want to do.
You could just come wander through the restaurant, right? We've done pretzels. We
Yeah,
mentioned
yeah.
that,
We
right?
did the
Yeah.
asparagus. We did the pretzels.
Yeah.
We did the
beers.
gummy bears,
Brats.
and we did the
Sausage, yeah.
sausages.
And
We're not done
steins,
beers
beer
yet.
steins.
We-
We done beer steins,
Yeah,
no?
No, it was a sausage holding the beer
Yeah.
stein.
They're always
Oh.
holding beers, but they've never been beers.
We didn't.
What?
We didn't
They
do
should be
beers.
beers
Drinking
holding
beers.
their sausages.
no, we can't do that.
Yeah, you can't. They
I
could
thought
be
we
running-
did beers,
No,
drinking beers.
I thought we did too, but maybe we
The
didn't.
beerception one, where it was a beer holding a beer.
Yeah, or did
That's
we?
just two single dads running through. It's
Yeah.
like baby beers.
Yeah, I kind of like beer holding a beer. Anyway, or pork shank and pancake. That's good.
How about holding ourselves?
Well, we'll come up with something and have new
Yeah,
pens.
just holding your handle.
Yeah.
Hand on my hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip.
And Pat, is there anything else coming up at Hollerbach that we should know about?
We've got Foshing coming up next month, or in the next couple months, which is Carnival season. So like Mardi Gras, Carnival type thing.
Cool.
Do you have your version of a king cake?
Uh,
Do you put a little pretzel in a cake or something?
no, we usually do special bread pudding for
Okay.
Foshing
Special
for that
bread
with sexy bourbon sauce.
Yes!
Oh,
I love bread pudding.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's the day where the women take over the restaurant, and so they bring the scissors, and all the guys wear
Excuse
ties that day.
We do like a tie cutting.
Yeah,
It's called
that's the whole thing.
Weiberfastnacht. It's
Yeah.
it's where the 1 year of 1 day of the year when the men let the women take over the town in Germany, apparently. But they cut your tie, and then they're supposed to like be in charge of you for the night or something like that.
Oh, I know what that means.
Is there symbolism to that?
Yeah.
I mean, severing ties. I don't know.
So is there like a ceremony, or
Yeah,
is
like-
it just you walk
like
in
at the restaurant? We do a key presentation. Like we hand over a big fake wooden key.
to the women, and
Yeah.
are you allowed to leave?
Yeah.
Is it
sure.
midsummer?
Like
They'll
you
chase
give
you
them the
down.
restaurant.
Bar the
like,
doors!
Now, are you concerned at all because you are giving like
Cut
this-
their ties.
You're
It's like,
giving
who are
this-
you? You got to pay double tonight. You can't.
Is it at all concerning that you are handing over a iconic historic restaurant to a bunch of women?
Our CEO Christina Hollerbach is a little questionable about that.
Oh, that's
She's in
right.
charge.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Thea already did the hard part and handed it to her, so we're good now.
Yeah, maybe it should be the other way.
It's
now.
cool that you guys do like these kitschy, fun,
Yeah.
like odd holidays. Are
It's
really
like
cool.
like the Krampus thing too. It's stuff that they've done in small towns in Germany for a long time that they still do.
Yeah.
That that we're trying to just make light of and bring to the forefront and
and when
the
is
culture.
this? When is this day?
That is February 24th.
We should do that here, and you and I wear ties, and then Sam can cut them, and she can take
Oh,
over the show.
I like that. And then stomp them. that part of it.
The rum balls or the ties?
Hey.
Don't stomp the rumbles.
I gotta tell you, I'm gonna start taking a shot of brandy every day.
It's great.
I know what
That's
Magic
what
Twins
most business guys
I
do.
know.
Yeah.
Like I feel incredible.
Me
Like,
too.
I'm like, man, all the stress went away.
I'm nursing mine.
I'm like, man, this is good. Awesome at work.
A little crystal glass with two fingers of Osbox in it every morning.
But here's the problem.
Oh, Tom had a problem a couple of years ago where he was known as two-finger Osbox. Trust me. He had a feature.
It's like, this makes me feel good every day. And then I'm like, one doesn't do it anymore. Oh, 1.5.
I drink a bottle of Osbox every morning.
And then that's the problem. Then my family's here. I'm like, oh, my kids are here.
Chef Pat, what are you doing here?
Nothing.
It all started with me.
Or everyone's reading letters.
I started this, I'll finish it.
And I'm like, I just wanted to feel good. I'm like, is that a crime?
Oh, the chat room is letting us know that Kratom Kerry has arrived.
Yeah.
He's giving us the salute. He gave us a thank you for our freedom.
Yeah. We'll
Pat
talk
knows
to
who that is, so he's scared. Pat and Eric are going to exit through the gift shop over here. They're out. They're out through the side door. I've never had a guest leave through the side door. The emergency chute.
We never had.
Quick,
have we
shut
even
the
opened
studio
that
door.
Didn't we have a lock on it for a long time that we couldn't get off?
We still do. In fact, a fun fact is the original key that has been changed to this place that no longer works is still in a lockbox from the realtor that rented us this place 6 years ago on the door. And once a year, I email them to see if they'll take the lockbox away, and I get no answer. But I do it once a year.
Chef Pat, Eric, thanks so much for coming in.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure seeing you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Again, Hollerbach Willow Tree Cafe in Sanford. It's an experience.
It's not a restaurant, it's a day. I mean, you should just go and eat a couple times there.
And they have cool stuff throughout the week. They got a meat bingo, which I want to do one time. I've been there for jazz night, which is awesome.
Pick a time and I'll just tag along with you because
for sure.
Sam's really good now about like making plans, and then I'll just go like, I'll just go.
He's a tag along.
It's just easier.
That's the easiest way to be, right?
It's just easier to do that. But I want to do meat bingo. What else you guys got going
with
on?
Meat Bingo too. If you guys wanted to pick a charity for the night you guys come, we can give all the money for the bingo cards to that charity.
Sweet.
So just kind of let us know in advance. So
Even a better reason to show up. Okay, good.
Let's plan a night for meat bingo.
I love some bingo, man.
Yeah, I know, and we'll
It's
invite
the
all
laziest
BDMs.
it's the laziest form of conversational gambling. You
Yeah,
just sit there and talk to your friends, and next thing you know, you won $200 or a steak.
Yeah. Guys, thanks so much.
Thank you, guys.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Our next guest, very popular one that he came in for the first time about 3 to 4 weeks ago.
We didn't even really plug it. We didn't say much about it, but he seemed to resonate, I believe, with our listeners and viewers.
Yep. Kratom Kerry's here. How you doing, Kerry?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Super duper.
So how has the book been selling? The Taxi Chronicles. You can purchase it where, Kerry?
Purchase everywhere, but basically people are doing it on Amazon.
Okay.
It's easiest to get to. It has, it does well.
I know our buddy
Amazon's
Norm
got
bought
that
it.
delivery down.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, their delivery, when your book starts selling well, your deliveries get there quicker. I just noticed that. And my deliveries are getting there within 2 days.
And you said it's Amazon? Amazon. Write that down.
With an N.
You can order that.
An N on the end of that. Amazon.
So, Kerry, I started reading your book because I know that...
I read it.
Yeah, and Samantha read it.
I thought it was kind of rude that you were in the middle of reading it when Sam...
Snatched it.
Samantha sort of snatched it.
Sam,
Well, I did say, you gotta read like,
oh my God!
I got
Tom
one
can't read.
paragraph. Yeah.
Tom's like, he's got a book!
I was browsing through. I was like getting some stuff.
He was
and
looking
then-
for pictures.
no pictures.
And then
He wanted boobs.
And then I'm like, say you gotta
He's
check
looking
this
for
out.
boobs.
I'm a leg man myself.
Yeah, it's a leg man Kerry.
So I will ask you one question because the book basically goes over your experience being a taxi driver during the recession.
Correct.
And in the book you outlined how much like the taxi business, and it was like I'd never heard this before, but
It's a peek behind the big yellow curtain of the taxi driving.
you weren't. And then I got to ask you about Uber, Kerry, because I was
He
like,
hates Uber. Don't talk about it.
I was like, Uber, did it exist at this time?
No. Was it 2008?
No, 2008 recession. Lost my job. Looked in the paper. Found how get at least 70. It says at least $125 a week. Oh, I can do that. Taxi.
Well,
So-
that's the bit. That's what I was going to ask you about. So you rent the taxi. For
Tasky?
Tasky.
The Tasky.
He's drunk.
For
This guy's drunk.
is it $125 a day?
Yes, you go in there negative 125. Negative.
So just from jump, you're already in the hole.
You have your name there in the computer,
Yeah.
and it's negative 125.
So you got to work that off first.
You got to work that off first. You got anything. So anything that you bring in, any drive, say from here to there is $16. That starts taking off that 125. Then you get a tip, starts taking off. By 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, that's off. So anything from like 5, mine was 10 to 10. So for the last 4 hours was all profit. So you had to try to hustle, get all you can to get the money, to get money.
See, when I drove, I did a little bit differently than Kerry did it. I would hustle to make the original that I was in on, right, the 125.
Yeah.
And then I just chill the rest of the time.
yeah.
Because
And you're
I'm
like, it's done now.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm done. Got my work done.
Then you sit under a tree.
Yeah. Sleep.
No, I had to make the money. It's
Yeah.
always about the money.
Speaking of trees.
Yes, let's talk. Samantha.
And let's also not give out all the plot points.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
he
yeah,
still
yeah.
wants to sell the books. Let's try our best to not be an EJ here and spoil it,
So,
This is Taxi's No Way Home.
Samantha, since she did read the whole book, wrote down some stuff.
She's got questions for you.
Yeah, and there was, and Samantha told me about a lightning experience.
Yeah, so you didn't
right?
directly get hit by lightning, right? It was
No, I was
very
walking
close
down,
to
I
you.
was walking down the 18th hole, and I was getting to the green, and I had the putter in my hand, and thank God I was holding on to the rubber grip, and my hair started standing up on my. This was all within a quarter of a second. My hair started standing up, my arms, my neck, and then there was a palm tree about 15, 20 feet away that got struck by lightning, and my putter flew off my hand, hit that. I went up in the ground and landed on my back.
It blew you off the feet.
Blew me off the ground.
It
man.
blew the putter out of his hand.
Blew the putter out of my hand. And so I woke up in an ambulance, and
Where's my putter? I need my putter.
what happened?
Oh,
But I felt okay, and they kept saying, "You okay?" And I said, "I'm okay."
Now, were any of the personalities within you, the Jerry Lewis, the Clint Eastwood,
yeah.
Sean
Sean Connery.
were they saying anything?
Well, my
like,
question was, did you already develop these characters prior to the lightning strike?
Of course, of course, as you read,
And then this just amplified it.
and amplified.
Okay,
it. Yeah,
okay.
I was put in a room. I'm a babysitter. My mom, parents would go out to drink. I'm in a room. Babysitter is the television. I learned everything from the television. I said, well, I like him, and I tried to emulate him.
great.
Jonathan Winters, all these guys.
Tom's making 2 Kratom Carries. Great job. You got a Kratom Carry factory at your house.
Yeah.
Great job.
I'm writing this down. You could just leave and go out to drink and just
Yeah.
leave your kids
Yeah.
watching TV.
Totally.
My sons will just sit there
Yeah.
and watch it the entire time.
Put on
But you-
Nickelodeon, too.
And then
'cause-
they'll
No,
start creating
YouTube.
characters.
Let me tell you something that's cool. I've been now known as Kratom Kerry.
Yes.
I'm getting emails and different things sent to me about Kratom Kerry. People got to realize they think that I was doing Kratom in 2008, and that's why Clint and all them were coming out. This is not true. I didn't start doing Kratom until about 6 months ago. So
Yeah.
they've got to know that this was me. Just
The Kratom, again, just amplifies the voices.
well today.
The lightning amplifies the voices.
Yeah.
The Kratom amplifies the voices.
Yeah.
The series of Samurai Sword, your
Yeah.
Samurai Sword collection,
And you
amplifies
got
the
to
voices.
understand that I am a crazy person. I'm a nut.
Okay, all right. I wasn't aware. I'll write that
I
down.
was.
Write that down. Write that down.
Okay, write that down.
Other than the Kratom, are you currently on any
I wrote
medication?
Amazon
Yes.
crazy.
Okay.
As you read the book, you saw that I had several mental.
Yeah, but you also said you didn't want to go to the doctor, so I just wanted to. I didn't know
Well,
if you
what
were.
do they know, Kerry? I'm with you. Like,
yeah.
every time,
They
I
might put-
Fauci!
They might-
That's what I said.
Here's how difficult it was in 2008. I had to work every day in order to bring money in to pay my rent.
Yeah.
If I went to a doctor and told him I was doing these voices and everything else, they're going to say, well, you should not work anymore and lay in bed and take this medication that's going to make you, how some of these
Yeah,
medications.
Yeah, I know. The doctor's like, what kind of pills you gonna give me?
You give me the
Stupid doctor. You give me the other pills. I'm not taking it.
So I'm having fun out there doing these characters. Anyway, and
You're not hurting anybody.
It's like Kanye. Kanye's like,
Yeah.
if I take the medication, I'm not going to be able to make this brilliant music anymore. And, like, so I have to let it free.
Yeah.
So anyway, I want to say that I didn't do the Kratom in 2008, and I do Kava, Relax, so forth, and the Healthy Buddha is where I'm going to have my book signing. Thank God FedEx is going to have them here. My books tomorrow. I was freaking out.
What happened?
They kept everybody else is getting the books in 2 days, and I'm waiting a week, 2 weeks. They just sent me a thing to be here Friday. So I will have books for the book signing Friday at Healthy Buddha, 345 North Orange Avenue between 3 and 5. They are great, okay? All the Healthy Buddhas are calm. They have herb drinks. They've got all organic. It's just a wonderful
Well,
place.
they got Kratom. That's all I want. I'm there for the Kratom. Like,
Herb drinks are great.
Is it Kratom?
Can we cut to the
Is it herb Kratom?
Put
I guess that's all I-
you can put the kratom in some tab. Put the kratom in a squirt. Put the
But
kratom in
there's all
orange soda.
types-
I don't care.
There's all types of kratom. There's some to make you calm your pain, some to make you speak a lot, some to make you have a lot of fun.
How about
Well, that's the one I want, Kerry.
Carrie, I want. And
Why would I
need-
want the other? I want the fun one.
You know a lot about this. I need a kratom that puts a little more lead in the pencil, if you know what I mean.
Lead in the pencil. Let me see. That's up on the top right shelf, over to the left.
All right.
It says lead in pencil. That's all you gotta do.
All right,
That's
all
all you
right.
gotta do.
That's right.
It's,
That sounds crazy, but
yeah.
I'm in.
So Kerry, Samantha also read some other stories that we wanted to ask you
Yeah.
about.
Can she not ask for herself?
You had a lot.
Are you
I'm
mansplaining?
setting her up. I'm setting her up.
Okay, all right.
Because a lot of things happened while you were driving this taxi. It's crazy the amount of experiences you went through. So what are some other ones?
Well, I don't want to give away all the stories, like we said, because he's already given us so much the last episode.
No. Well, you got to read the details of the book.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
just giving you a.
See, what I
Cliff
wanted
notes.
you to do is when I was doing it, as I did my personalities on television, I felt when I did the voice and it sounded just like that person, I felt like I was that person. I had the enjoyment. He made me laugh. I did that voice just like he did.
Can you summon these voices? Can you draw them out of you at any, or do they have to find a natural way out?
And here's the thing. I'm not super good at them, but I'm good enough in my brain to think that I am.
That you're pulling it off.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
that's
like
what I
me.
do.
I'm just good enough in the mirror to keep going another day. I'm like, well, not that ugly. Won't kill myself today.
But don't put me on pressure here to bring a few out.
Oh,
But
no, I'm not.
When
I
they
wouldn't
come
do
out
that. If
naturally,
Jay-Z
yes.
were here, I'm
Yeah.
not going to say,
If
hey,
I
can
had
you
4 cups-
freestyle?
If I had 4 cups of coffee, I would be doing Jim Carrey. I would be doing.
No,
him.
you do
Yeah.
Jim Carrey. I didn't even
Yeah.
know
I
Kerry.
didn't even know Kerry was in there.
Yeah, but yeah. So the question. What was the question that you had, Sam?
Oh, no. I was, you had actually fallen for one of your customers at one point.
Oh yes. I'll talk about it because it was really cool. Yeah. I had picked up a girl, a beautiful girl. And she asked me to take her to work.
The leaf blower's here.
Yeah, every time.
The leaf blower's
I'm saying how.
Kerry, I'm going to have to pause you for just a second. We'll get back to it. I promise.
Yes, it happened again.
But I was explaining to my wife when I was telling about the first time you were here. I was explaining to my wife about you being here, and I go, you got to really dig into this interview and listen to the nuances, because there's some nuances in the first Kratom Kerry interview that's phenomenal, where we have a man blowing leaves on the front of our studio, and he does it for a solid 20 minutes. And this guy's going to do it, right? He's going to come up here, he's going to start blowing the leaves for 20 minutes.
How did it happen?
No,
Like, is
there's a
that
pressure washer out there.
Oh, it's a pressure washer.
That's what I was going to come in and tell you guys.
Yeah.
And it's a pressure washer there.
They already cleaned it.
It's almost like Kerry has
And
some
it's
sort of
moving.
magnetic power,
It's
like
moving.
powder.
Yes,
The lightning.
It's moving this way too. I saw him in the back.
God,
there.
it's
No,
moving this
yeah.
way. We're going to need you to help. We're going to need you to do something,
Oh
Kerry.
yeah, Clint's gonna have to get
Yeah.
out there.
But
and tell these guys.
anyway, back to
You
this.
guys gotta get
back,
outta here.
Back to this beautiful woman.
Okay, yeah.
She
Well,
started.
she'll
She was
pressure
crying.
washer.
She was crying. She goes,
She's crying.
Yeah, she
Oh.
goes, I need to go and buy a cat. I lost my cat. I
please.
need a cat. I need a cat. So
I'll help you find your pussy.
yeah, I'll find it for you. I'll find it for you.
I'm a good pussy finder, I am.
Yes, you are. my
Sean
friend.
Connery.
Yes, But I took her to the ASPCA.
Pushing boots.
Found a pussy for her.
Oh.
Doesn't work when you sing.
Swear to God. Yes, it was great. It was great. But we came back, and she was happy.
Okay.
Then she said, "Could you take me to work?" And I said, "Of course." And then she worked
We're
at the doll.
married now.
She worked at the dollhouse.
Whoa, hey!
Okay.
I got my first handy at the doll.
So I've been to the
Come
doll.
on,
Now
come on.
this is my second customer to the dollhouse.
I wonder if
but-
it was the same girl. Small world.
So I would.
Was it in 2008?
I would take her.
No.
She would go. She was the day shift. She would go at 12. I'd
Day
pick her
shift.
up.
Oh,
Yeah,
louder.
but that's
Okay.
fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
You
Day
shift.
have to start there to work your
And
way.
here-
No, you don't.
here's
That's
the
not.
thing.
It doesn't work like that.
Oh, okay.
If you are beautiful,
There's a
Oh,
word.
okay.
Skip that part.
I thought it was like you worked your way up.
And I wrote it down. Anagalopoli.
anagalactic shock.
No, it's the fear of beautiful women.
Oh, you got that?
And it's a true thing. Fear of beautiful women. You stutter, you sweat, you can't talk, and that's me.
Hold on, I got
You
that.
got that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got
So
anagalactic.
so Sean and Clint are up there laughing because they're not going to come out and help me.
Oh.
They're going to make me suffer. I was stuttering.
They're bullying you.
But
Yeah,
some
they are.
people like shy and stuttering people, and she did. She must have had a father complex or something. But
right.
she gave me a kiss and said, "You're nice," because all the other cabbies are slobs.
I like you, dumb grandpa.
But
I've seen these
Okay.
shows.
Now-
They're,
They're
Europe.
into it.
now that's
go.
all I'm going to say, because I don't want to ruin
Yeah, you
things
gotta
that
read.
happen.
You gotta read the
Okay,
book.
Yeah, you gotta find out what
There's
happened.
some
Find
things
out what
that happen
happens.
crazy at the end.
Yeah.
Yes.
Crazy the whole time.
And like, is it because of the area you were driving around in, Kerry, that you tend to pick up these characters? Because it seemed like you were getting yourself into a lot of situations, and these characters were getting your cab. Or
It had
does
like
this happen
a-
every?
It had like a
Well,
lunatic.
he makes a great point, right?
Yeah.
Just kind of like on our show, we talk about the funny stuff or the things that are interesting. When you pick up just a boring grandma, and
Yes.
there's nothing to talk about, why would you put that in the book?
Right.
So he's going to write about the crazy stories that
Exactly,
happen.
and I said that in there. There were.
You guys are
I-
so
I-
We're right
connected.
here.
I mean,
me and Kerry right
I
here.
see the.
She got it.
She got
I
it.
picked up 500 people, and I put in the ones that were interesting in there. You would not want to walk about it.
I picked up the grandma today, and I took her to Publix, waited for her to come out with her chicken, and
No, I'm not going to put that in there.
Yeah.
So-
Only the interesting story.
That was pretty good. What happened?
Are you still practicing any of your martial arts that you picked up?
No, I'm not. Right
No,
now,
okay.
believe it or not,
Yes.
I am driving for Uber Eats right now.
Are you
No,
really?
really?
Wow, back in the game.
No,
Dusting off the hands. Put
oh,
the gloves
oh,
Why
back
not
on.
regular Uber? Because that's your game, Kerry.
Jason
No, I-
Statham is the transporter.
Because I just want to go pick up food and deliver it. Pick up food because I had surgical on my neck, and I didn't work for 6 months. I'm getting back in the game of doing roofing and my sales and all that.
Roofing.
No, don't do that.
Wait a
Think
minute.
of the Uber.
Hold on, why'd you pick the hardest thing
That's
to
so
I
terrible.
don't get up on the roof. I
you
just
sell
tell
roofs.
people.
I know what it is.
do?
Kratom.
Don't a lot of kratom.
Roof,
Roof.
kratom,
If
kratom.
you do a lot
You
of
gotta do the
kratom,
math.
I'll just fly up to the roof.
He knows. This guy blinking knows.
If I see you flying on a roof.
And a little pixie dust. A little pixie
Oh,
dust.
yeah. Oh, God, it's coming to
Oh,
me.
old Peter Pan's up there doing it again.
Little pixie dust. Come on up here with me. Come on.
He's sprinkling kratom on my roof.
But so I'm doing Uber Eats right now. I'm in a transition. The house I rented was sold, so I'm looking for a place. I'm getting healing and finding some contacts to get roofs and such. So I have to make some side money.
Nice.
I'm doing Uber Eats.
Nothing wrong with
to
that,
do
man.
But let me tell you, it has there's a little button on there you can push to be the driver. I'm going to do Uber Eats now, and I haven't pushed that driver yet because I'm too scared to.
He doesn't want the personalities to come out because the trigger of the personalities is what they're familiar with, which is driving.
Yeah.
Now we're right here.
Yeah.
Don't hit the button.
No,
Whatever you do.
I have. It's not a dark cloud over me. It's just a weird. It's a weird thing that the power of attraction. I seem to attract strange and weird people, which is not a bad thing. But I'm going to tell you this story.
Okay,
And
all right.
this happened the other day.
Okay.
And if he finds me, he might. But anyway, I'm looking for a room.
I'm sorry.
Well, that could be anything. That could be anything. It could be he could give me a winning lottery ticket. He could.
I'm looking for a room on Craigslist. Okay. and I go. I swear to God, he says. I said, huh? I said, this is Eric. I said,
Hello, Eric. This is
an
Sean Connery.
Yeah, you put an ad for a room in this giant. Here's a mansion, and I said, he says, my name is Eric, and I'm the owner of the house, and I will. He says,
It's Eric Trump.
I was a felon. I was a felon for 8 years. I've got tattoos, but the room, blah 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 blah. And I said, shh. Okay, let's go on this little draw. Let's play out this whole scenario and see what's going on here.
Let's go on a little mind drive, Eric.
So
You ready? Strap in, Eric, because we're going on a mind
so
drive.
I go in there, and here's this little guy about 5'5" with a little dog here.
Hold on, that's me.
He's got
Pee-pee dog.
Yeah, did he have a
he's
pee-pee dog?
He's got
That was
tattoos
you?
all
Oh,
over
you
the
showed
place.
up at the mansion?
Yes.
Okay.
And so there's a tree. It's a Christmas tree in there. He says, I have to have the Christmas tree in the house at all times because I had a bad childhood and it reminds me
Pause for a
of
second.
Christmas.
I still have my tree out.
Wait
5'2",
a
hold the pee-pee
second.
dog.
Hold on.
But anyway, let me just do real quick. The room was great. Everything is great, but it has his roommates. It were crazy. I'm trying. I said, I got to get out of here. But
These guys are crazy.
I said,
I want to be
here's
these guys.
here's
I gotta
the-
get the hell out of here. Gotta get them on the
here's,
arcade.
here's the caveat.
Yeah.
Here's the caveat. I wanted to try to bond with him, and I said, "Well, I did it."
Let's do some kratom, guys.
Close. What happened? I told him. I
Let's
said,
suck each other's dicks.
Come on.
That's the third time you come up with dicks, man. That's the third
I'm
time.
obsessed.
Okay.
Get him first.
Yeah. So
I'm
I
cool.
talked to him. I said, "Well,
We're cool.
listen, I got a book coming out, and I'm thinking about kratom. I'm going to Healthy Buddha to kratom." He says, "Kratom? You do kratom?" I go, "Oh yeah."
Do
He
it.
says-
I am.
He goes to his refrigerator. I swear to God, pulls out a bag about this big.
In the refrigerator.
Yes. Opens it up.
Most people go food there.
Takes out a tablespoon.
Oh, gets it dry.
Yeah.
That's an
and
advanced
does-
move.
And he says,
Do it dry.
He says, "I'm trying to quit." I said, "Well, you're
Oh,
not
I
doing a
can't
good
quit.
job. You're not
Not
doing
around
a good,
me here.
I didn't do it. You're not doing a good job." But
Now, was he there, like, he wanted to rent out a room in his mansion?
Yes.
He had other roommates as well.
that were I don't want to talk about them.
Is this a halfway house?
No,
or
it's
something?
a man. It was a mansion. But here's the thing. I said, "Eric, you told me you were the owner. I looked on the property appraiser.
You're not.
You're not the
You're
owner."
lying, Eric.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, yeah.
So he says, "Why?" I said, "I'm offended that you asked me that."
God damn it.
And I said,
Uh-oh.
Can't trust anybody.
Yeah. I said, "Listen, it's my duty to find these things
It's
out."
my duty to
Yeah.
kratom that booty.
But anyway, that's the story. The story I want to say is this guy just pounded the whole thing of kratom, and then 15 minutes later he started
Freaking out.
Yeah, freaking out.
Started having a
Yeah.
seizure and he died. So
So,
I had to burn the mansion down.
what do you think it was? Do you think it was like maybe he wanted, to
I
have
might
some
have to go
relations
I
with
might have
you?
to go
And-
lay
No,
in the yard to
no,
get my
no,
breath back.
No,
I-
other than that, or was
I-
it just he wanted a regular roommate?
He wanted a room. It was a loft. It had everything I needed. It was just a different person, and it was
so close.
so close. So I was just like I said. We're talking about why do these things happen to me? Why do I find these? It's the rabbit hole. I could have
pressure washer louder.
seen him at the door. At the phone, he says, "I'm a felon, and don't be offended when you see me." I should have
Don't
said,
be
"Oh."
offended.
I should have hung up right then,
Yeah.
but I didn't.
Well, I'm covered in tattoos. Did you think I'm like a bad apple or something?
I didn't.
Like I have, I don't know if, but I'm covered.
Well,
like in
I've
tattoos.
got a few myself.
You
What do you
used the
got? What do you
term-
got? What do you got? You got Pac-Man?
I got
or-
my granddaughters, and I
Oh,
got
that's
some
good.
flowers and beach scenes
Sweet
and
things.
things.
Tom's got a beach scene.
Yeah, I
You
got-
use the term
I
a
got
lot
the-
in the book rabbit hole, and you say sometimes you
Yeah.
actively search for down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
That's a pussy.
Okay, there's a very good, Samantha. Somehow my life, your life goes along, and you're dry, and you're doing your job, or you eat and you come home, and then something happens to where you think it's going to be an exciting, crazy, terrible thing, and you want to go down there and see what it is, and this shoulder's saying, go down there, and the other shoulder says, you better not, and so I haven't gone down the rabbit hole, but I've come close.
All right.
And so
what's in there?
That's rabbit
Yeah,
sniffing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You get to the front of it.
But,
I'm not going down there, but I'll
but I
sniff
tell
it
you
a
what,
little bit.
going to this guy's house was going down the rabbit hole. I should have hung up on it. He saw I'm a felon and blah, blah, blah. I should have just hung up on him and not even gone.
But you wanted to
couldn't
see.
help
But
yourself.
I went down the rabbit hole. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
rabbit
Yeah.
hole.
Oh, I see.
Ah.
So
Yeah.
just actively putting yourself in
what
a
I did when I
situation that
hired
could
Travis.
be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like, let's see where this goes.
And
Didn't it? Well,
who would have guessed that one day that rabbit would read my text messages?
yeah. But I picked up. I got a phone. I got go to this, and it's a mailbox. And
Go to the mailbox.
And I look at the house, and it's this mailbox, and I heard this help, and I said, well, that's what the heck, help. I
I'm
looked
trapped in the
down.
mailbox. Help!
There's a guy laying in the bushes, and Clint Eastwood says, you gotta go help this guy. I had every reason to leave.
Don't help him. He's
I had every reason to
a
leave.
ne'er-do-well,
Yeah.
a scofflaw.
Oh yeah. Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Don't
we know
help
how
him.
he feels.
He's a disgusting homeless person.
Have some balls and help this guy.
Wait, that's
Oh,
Clint.
oh yeah. So Clint's telling you to help the guy in the bushes.
Yes, 'cause
And
I
what
was-
Sean's like, no,
Yeah,
He's disgusting. I think he shot his
So,
pants.
But I had every right. You know, he's drunk. He's been doing cocaine, and what he's doing cocaine. and-
cocaine, which is fancier
Yeah.
cocaine.
I have to know what he's doing before
that's
he gets.
cocaine and hash.
Yeah.
Before he gets into the back of my car, because there's no window there. He can whack me on the head.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So I had
he's
to
got a
find,
whacking
I had
window.
to find out what's going on, and I am an empathetic person. I'm going to help this guy.
Yeah.
And as we move along, I take him to a place that's real, because it's a place where you got to check. I have to check him in. He's passed out. I have to check him in, and it's a place where all the people that are in there are drug addicts.
Oh, Kobe Steak.
And the cops know they're there. The cops know this is true. The cops know they're there, but they don't.
They turn a blind eye.
Yes,
They're cool with
as
it.
long as they stay there, don't make a lot of noise, don't hurt anybody. They just let them alone.
Like a Dog the Bounty Hunter scenario.
and,
where
this
it's
is,
just,
and this is where I took him. But when I took him, I had to check him into the office. I said, "What is about this guy?" And he was a hero in the war, Iraq War, and he has PSD, whatever.
PTSD.
he is a PS5.
Yeah, PSD 417, and I got more respect for him, and that's all I'm going to say about that, because you have to read the book.
Gotcha.
to see what
All right.
happens.
Yeah.
I'm setting everybody up, man.
Oh.
Give
Setting
him
them all
a little
up.
bit.
Well,
Give him a little bit.
Yeah, so
Well-
give him a taste of the kratom.
Carrie, you're going to do another book signing at the Healthy Buddha, like you said, Orange Avenue. And
Yes.
what date and time is that?
Yeah, that's the Saturday, 2 days from now, the 29th at 3 to 5.
All right. And we're going to have you in next week, Carrie. And if there's they just turned off when we were in it.
Yeah.
If
It's
there's
freaking you out a
another,
little.
well, I'm
Like,
just saying,
okay, like
I'll
Tom
believe in
thinks-
God
Tom
if we
thinks
bring
that
you
you're
in
divine.
randomly.
Tom thinks that in some weird way you are divine, and that maybe you are the manifestation of God in our Tom and Dan universe. You are our God now.
Or Daniel
My
from the
God,
future.
it's a
that crossed my
Well,
mind.
guess what? I told you this
Future
before.
Daniel crossed my mind.
yeah.
I was like,
God needs a job. I told you that before.
Yeah.
And I know what you told me, and I understand. I'm doing Uber Eats to make ends meet.
So is Butler.
I've got some jobs that are roofing that are finally coming to fruition. So I'm working my way back after my neck surgery, and this is so much fun to be on here and to interact with you guys.
Well, we have fun with you.
Yeah,
And you're a good sport, because we
Yeah.
like play hard, and we're
Yeah.
we're
yeah.
joking around about you being a legitimate crazy person, and you're okay with it. You're just
I
like, hey man,
learned.
I'm selling
I
books.
learned- I
There's a tinge of it in there, because
sure,
there's
my-
a tinge of it in me. You know that though.
I like you better without the hat, tell you the truth.
Okay. How about this? I buzzed my beard down a little
Yeah,
bit.
you did.
Is that better or
sure.
no?
Yeah, I love it. It's kind of like the when in the Okay. You know, I can't.
That's fine.
That's you. That's future you. That's you.
What if
This is our son? What if we had a 69 baby and this is our baby? You ever heard of a 69 baby? Once,
Then you travel back.
once every 100 years while two men are 69. The immaculate conception happens where two pod nesters who are 69 and can create
Miami Vice.
a beautiful old kratom baby.
Miami Vice look. That's what I was going for.
Miami Vice, your stepfather was a Miami Vice. Oh my God, it's happening.
It's the Miami Vice. It's the in look for actors is having a half shaven. You know.
The Miami Vice.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
it's
push
that-
my
it's that-
sleeves
it's
up
that-
too on this blazer I'm wearing.
Yeah.
All right, so we got to go see Kerry at the Healthy Buddha, and we'll
Buy
have
my book.
Shout out to the Healthy Buddha. They're nice people. They were very supportive on our
Yeah.
webpage. They gave you a shout out.
show-
Don't give away any more than we got
show
one.
them. Show them.
Oh, yeah, show the book.
Taxi
again.
Chronicles.
Show
Yeah,
them.
you're on
This
camera.
guy knows how to plug stuff.
yeah.
Oh yeah, hold it up yourself. You're on camera.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
let's
There
get
you
a
go.
good
You're
close-up.
good. You should have a show.
Taxi Chronicles by Kerry Edwards. And the thing that you haven't brought up is who is really driving the cab. And if you look, I have Clint Eastwood and Sean Connery because when they take me over, they are driving.
Who's the
cab.
better driver? Or do you want to save that as something that we read?
Who's the better driver?
Or have you ever thought of
Sean's
that?
the better driver.
Sean?
Clint's going after the guy.
Is it weird
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Sean being? He's like, I'm on the wrong side.
I'm on
Is he like,
yeah.
Then Clint takes over, brings it back. Yeah.
You're
doing it wrong, you stupid limey.
Haven't you ever seen a dragon before?
All right, we got to go. Kratom, Kerry, thanks so much.
I don't mind the name, by the way. I like it.
Okay, hey, well, we're
It's
not.
the thing.
We're sticking with it.
It's happening. You guys started it. It's following me everywhere, and I don't mind. It's great. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you, Kerry.
But come Saturday, 3 to 5 at the Healthy Buddha.
Good luck with the book signing
Yeah.
and with Uber Eats. And I'm sure
Yeah.
that some of our listeners might, if they, if you're in Kerry's area now, knowing that he Uber Eats, you might end up going for nachos and getting Kerry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you never know.
You never know.
All right, bye-bye.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
So we've got an auction for charity going on right now at tomanddangiveback.com. That's the website. And it's going to end February 5th at noon. And it's a bunch of different experiences and the grift truck.
Yeah, there's all kinds of good stuff on there for you to bid on, whether it be lunch with us, whether it be a boat trip with you, whether it be the actual truck that's wrapped in Tom and Dan and Danger Brain branding that
The grift
Samantha
truck.
drove for
Oh, yeah.
how long?
A while. I feel like it
Years.
was like 5 years or
Yeah,
something.
it was a while.
It was a while.
So sorry.
I can't believe you drove around
Oh,
that
yeah.
death trap.
That's insane.
Well, at the time, 5
I had the
years
original
ago.
wrap on it, and
Oh,
then we got the updated
Oh, I
version.
forgot
Yeah,
we
you
had
forgot
it.
the bright yellow.
Oh my God, you were in that too long. You were in that way too long.
So you could bid on that.
Bike ride with Dan.
Yeah.
Dan takes you on a flight, studio interview with you, dinner with Dan and Tom at Hollerbach, who we just talked to.
Yeah.
Lunch at Johnny's with Tom and Dan, boat trip with Tom, studio watch party, or you can bid on one of the video messages that you guys will do. Like it's
Yeah.
almost like a cameo type situation.
Scameo.
Yeah. Scameo.
And a listener asked us a question this morning, and it didn't dawn on us that they
Yeah.
but they asked if they could do the studio interview through Zoom.
Because
And
they live in New Hampshire.
yeah, and we're like, yeah, of course. But we just said to come in the studio
easier
because we
for
thought,
us.
we thought that would be part of it. But if you want to do your studio interview with Zoom or whatever,
Yeah.
all we want to do is raise as much money as we can for Yellow Brick Road, and that's all. And 100% of everything goes to Yellow Brick Road, and that's it. So every cent that is raised and you bid is going straight to the charity.
100%.
We'd appreciate everybody who bids and
TomandDanGiveback.com.
So let's do some voicemail.
All right, voicemail messages. You can leave them through the app. That's really all I'm going to say. Super easy to do. I went through them this morning. We got a ton of new ones. I did a version of what this gentleman called in to talk about.
Hey, Tom, Dan, Sam, BDMJ here. I was listening to ACT show Digital Spanx, and you were talking about collecting, and then I realized I may be a young, dumb old man. I'm 31, and I collect NASCAR die-cast cars, but I don't buy none online. I drag my
That's on brand, by the way. That's on brand. That's on brand.
Yeah.
wife and two daughters who are absolutely miserable every Saturday morning to the local flea market or resale stores looking for certain cars, drivers, paint schemes, and I display them in my living room, which my wife constantly crows at me about. That to me is collecting. I agree. If you buy it offline, you're just purchasing and you're a consumer. You're not a collector. It may be a stupid collection to some. I don't never spend, that much money online. The cars run like $55, $60 a pop. I'm going to flea markets and buying old cars, still in good condition, for $5 or $10 or something like that. To me, it's a good collection. Gives me something to do. I work hard. I spend my stupid money on NASCAR cars. All right, guys. Love the show. Bye.
Great job. And that's kind of a version of this hobby thing we're talking about. You did a great job of explaining it. I thought you were really honest about how you felt about it. You love it. Other people probably hate it. Yeah, it's going to get some heat. And that's okay.
This is going to lead us into our new Weird Job Wednesday, which is going to be Weird Hobby Wednesday, because
I thought it was called Slob the Hob.
Slobby Hobby Wednesday.
Yeah, I thought you changed it.
Because I have so many questions for this gentleman.
What's your slobby hobby?
We can do that.
I'm curious to the motivation of this collection in my mind, and I know everybody's different. That's why it confuses me, because I'm like, where's the joy? What is the purpose? So you're making...
Well, he loves NASCAR, and the cars are nothing more than actualized, tangible memories of races and a sport that he likes.
So just seeing the cars in his collection brings him happiness.
Well, he's able to control it, right? So he likes NASCAR, but he's not able to control NASCAR, right? So his collection is a manifestation of his love for NASCAR, and he can control it by putting a little bit of money in, and there's a quest to find these things. So it's actively putting him within the NASCAR world. Well, I'm just talking this out.
Well, that's why I want to hear him explain, because does he do it with a purpose or an intent in the fact that I one day hope to get
I don't think there's a one day. I didn't hear a one day.
Okay, so it's just as many as he can collect and then as many different ones. And I wonder because there's
that. I think maybe you naturally found your problem with all of these. Your problem with everybody collecting things is there's no end game. There's no end game. They're literally doing it with no idea of what they're going to do with the collection, and that drives you crazy.
I don't
secretly, you're like my wife. You're a planner.
But you collect plants. It's the same thing.
He would say he doesn't collect those because they don't matter to him. Remember, we can stomp those at any time. And
but I don't believe him. I don't believe him. I think
if we
stomp him.
No,
I'm going to go stomp him.
Hold on a second. What are we talking about? This is the weirdest show we've ever done. This is weird. You guys are weird.
I understand. Listen, I understand I'm hypocritical, and then I say
you're just confusing.
I'm confusing.
Sometimes you're not hypocritical. Sometimes I'm like, oh, yeah, that's exactly what you would do. But sometimes you're just a confusing person.
Because, my gambling hobby, right? In my mind, I'm doing it. It's not a fun.
You're
for
even
me.
right now, right?
It's just a
as
challenge.
of today, you're dead even.
The challenge to me is, can I win long term or get good enough at this thing
to not lose
to win long term, and can I track it to where I get to a point where I'm actually up multiple years in a row? You know what I'm saying? I have a goal set to when once I get there,
and
I may be done.
It bothers you that collections have no goal.
Or you're in competition with others to have the biggest NASCAR die-cast collection. That's what I'm like.
Have the most unique one.
That's what I'm like.
If he told you,
if that's it, and within your Reddit group of people that do this, you want to have the biggest. Then I'm like, I get it. That clicks a box for me where it's
everything's a competition.
Competition / there's a purpose. Other than just this makes me happy, that's what I don't understand.
Happiness is the purpose. You crazy
no, but
person.
He's never happy, and he hates.
You got to start creating characters in your head, like Kratom Kerry.
Yeah,
I don't
start collecting die cast.
It never dawned on me that someone's purpose to whatever they're doing is just pure joy. I don't get it. I'm what?
Well, in a weird way, it's primal, right?
It's
let's say, fun time for boys. The one person, you're taking care of yourself.
There's an end goal. Who's doing that? And then you'll be like, I'm done.
It's only for happiness, right? It's really just for the feeling. And really collecting is really just for that.
And there's a release after, and you're like, well, I'm not interested in that anymore for a while.
That's gross. Then you feel bad.
Yeah, it's like getting COVID. You're like, I'm done with that for a while.
Yeah, I'm good. No mask.
But so anyway, I think we can interview people about these hobbies and just figure out what is in it for them. Why why do they do it? And some people can't explain it, I'm sure, right?
I want to find the weird ones because collectors to me are
Yeah,
not
I
weird.
want Weird Hobby Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah, like collectors are not weird.
Unless it's a weird thing to collect, right?
Well, you know who gets a lot of heat are these people that collect oddities because sometimes they're
Yeah.
collecting things that have morally have like almost something you have to decide whether or not you want to have a dead baby embryo in your
Yeah.
home. You know, like that's weird.
Well, we talked to a BDM that had oddities as a collection. Remember when we were doing like house tours during COVID and
Yep.
stuff? So there's a lot to that. Like, and then the hobbies that are like mountain biking and snowboarding and like windsurfing, all like surfing, all those things, like I totally get instantly because I'm like, all right, they are doing that and they get incrementally better as they do it. And then the more they get better at it, the more enjoyment they get. And then it's like, so it's like, you know, it's something that I can wrap my brain around. And then all the other hobbies that don't include like getting better at or like, you know, the collections and I'm sure there's other weird hobbies that people do.
I
That
feel like you
won't understand.
only respect skill-based hobbies that you can get better at.
It's not really even respect, it's understand.
Like martial arts is a perfect example of like a hobby that if I gave you that hobby, you're like, I understand that completely. You're trying to gather the belts.
Everything's a challenge.
Yeah, you're trying to learn. You're
Yeah.
trying to get better at it. Whereas collecting, can you get better at collecting?
Well, your collection can get better.
You could get better. You could get more efficient at how you look.
Yeah. And then your
Work smarter, not harder.
I assume, and tell me if I'm wrong here, that everybody who builds collections wants their collection to be impressive and maybe better than other people's collections? Or no?
I think for some people, but I don't think for everybody.
Yeah, no, I think maybe you're misguided on that one. I don't think that's everybody.
Yeah, no, I know, and that's where I'm curious about. It's like, all right, well, then does the collection just when you see it, does it just spike your, you know, good feelings?
Are
you looking at it and be like, yes, it gives you joy? Or
do you get more enjoyment out of thinking that your plant collection is more rare than the average Florida man?
No, it's if I can keep the plants alive and they grow and thrive, that is the accomplishment.
Maybe
to me.
let me rephrase it. Do you give more attention and do you get a dump of adrenaline or an endorphin deal when you get a plant that is considered more rare than a standard plant that everybody has? Like if Gabriella Plants sends
They've given me some rare ones.
I got a couple that are pretty awesome. If I gave you one of those that maybe you hadn't seen before, actually the one at my house that's like felt,
I ordered that one from Gabriella.
well, that was one
Because
of the ones I
like
got. It's like a plant from Gabriella, and it like the leaves. I swear to God, they look like
It's
real
a species of elephant ear. It's called a velvet. Is it called black velvet?
Yeah,
Or
I
is
think
that
it
a
might
liquor?
be. You and Andrea were talking about it to the
Just-
point where I thought they were going to cheat on me. Like I thought you were like trying to.
Well,
like,
she's got an impressive plant
It's
collection.
pretty good, right?
And I sat down
It's
at the
pretty
table. I'm
good.
like, look at all these plants. And then I wanted to, and you guys were
Well, let's analyze this then.
chirping. I'm like, just leave me with my plants. I'm like, look at these.
He did. He did, Sam. He was over at the house, and me and the kids and Crystal and Andrea were all having a fun time together. He wasn't even with his family or us. He was over just with
Tell
Andrea's
me he
plants
doesn't care about those plants.
all
then.
by himself looking at it. So
I was
we're going
just-
to have to revisit this.
The Twitch people want to add Stomp Tom's plants on the auction site, so we might consider
Dude,
that.
you want to set records for the kids? Like, how many wagons you want to buy?
I can't be there to see it because I think I'll.
I knew it! I knew it!
There's a little bit of emotion. I will not go crazy robot
I
here.
got
my
him.
favorite
I got
show
him.
ever.
Like if Mike B is stomping my
Oh, yeah, yank his nose ring out.
Monstera, I'm gonna get him. I'll knock his beanie off. All right, bye.
It is another corporate time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha, our producer's here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
Let's not waste any time. Let's do a little bit of plugging. We have an auction going on right now. It is a charity auction. It's to help out all the kiddos of the Yellow Brick Road Foundation. They have congenital heart defects, and what we're trying to do is raise as much money as humanly possible for them. And you can check out our auctions going on right now at tomanddangiveback.com, but we'll talk about more about that a little bit later.
And there's a bunch of experiences we're auctioning off the Griff truck, a boat trip with me, a bike ride with Daniel, in-studio interviews, in-studio party, in-studio watch Daniel fly a virtual plane. Just go check it out.
A lot of weird stuff.
TomandDanGiveBack.com. But on Zoom with us right now, live from Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
She's going to be at Porky's Comedy Club in St. Cloud. You can get your tickets at porkyscomedyclub.com. We got Tanya Lee Davis on the line. How you doing, Tanya Lee Davis?
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me.
So, Tanya Lee,
I love the name. It sounds super Southern, though.
Yeah, but she's Canadian, which is crazy.
It is
Exactly.
It is very odd that you are from the Great White North and you have like what would be a name in my family, and we're all from like Virginia.
Well, my husband's from North Carolina, so I think it's just one of those things. It was meant to be.
Yeah. He saw the name, and then he saw the lady behind it, and he's like, "This is the beautiful gal for me. I'm ready."
Absolutely.
Tanya Lee, when did you start your stand-up comedy journey?
Well, actually, this past Sunday, January 23rd, was my 32nd year in comedy anniversary. Yes, I know. I started when I was a fetus. And I started in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I really wanted to be an actress. Didn't even know that stand-up comedy existed. I started dating a guy that was in the production that I was doing with Children's Theater. He took me to a comedy club. He was terrible. I don't know. I just instinctively knew what he was doing wrong. And then when he got off stage, I was like, "Oh, you were crap." And he's like, "You think you can do better?" And I was like, "Yep." And January 23rd, went up the first time, did great. Showed up the next week. They wanted me back. My mom showed up with the neighbors, my cousins. I died a slow and painful death. And they were like, "Well, at least you gave it a shot." 32 years in now.
That's crazy. It's always hard. Is it harder for you to do your act or do comedy when you know you have somebody that is in your inner circle that you truly love watching you do it?
Not so much anymore, but yes, back in the day, I think that's for anybody, especially people that, I've been underestimated my entire life, even probably within my own family.
Sure.
Being a little person and stuff. So that's been my mantra, is proving people wrong. So it did throw me off, but then they were like, well, when they said, "Well, at least you gave it a shot," I was like, "Oh, heck no. Wait till you see what I can do."
Yeah.
Here we are.
Well,
that's awesome, man.
I want to ask you about something current, because we are trying to dip our toe into TikTok, and I know you've got
We are not as famous as you on
No,
TikTok.
Man, you were doing a very nice job there.
So with
on the TikTok,
you've got 2.7 million followers. Were you always into social media? Was TikTok one of the platforms that just happened to hit? Were you doing it the whole time? How did that work out?
All right, so I'm originally from Canada. I'm also gratefully American, but I have been touring internationally for 19 years. So I was actually living in England from 2016 to 2020, June. So I spent the first 4 months of lockdown in the United Kingdom, which is very difficult anyway when there's not a lockdown. Luckily, being American, could come to Florida, and a friend of mine from the UK, a British comic, said, "You should try TikTok," because I was doing dances on Facebook, just putting 80s music on, just trying to rock out, trying to inspire and motivate people during this lockdown. I didn't know anything about TikTok. I tried it, and then I gave it a rest, and then when I moved to Florida, one day I was just sitting there, I had a bowl of cereal, and I started talking about the villages and how it has the, largest sexually transmitted disease rate. And I did a joke about that, and that went viral. And I was like, "Oh, I'm onto something. I can do my stand-up bits." And then, of course, I do dances, and, I do the TikTok trends. But I've worked very hard for 15 months to have 2.7 million followers. I've worked very hard to get that.
No,
well done. Yeah, no,
100%. It's not. Then people miss. Like, I think a lot of people that don't understand the grind of it think that it's just like random. Like, you have to plan it and put work into it and grind.
Put good content out. Be consistent.
And it's hard. It's like, I think people take it for granted when they see like people with huge followings. They're like, "Oh, they just they do it for fun whenever they feel like it." And now it's like, no, this is a part of a job.
It's
part
a
of
legitimate
your
way
career.
to communicate. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like, I'm a night person, so I go to bed quite late, but then, I wake up between 11 and 1 in the year, and then I get up and I either get glammed up, I'll do wardrobe changes, I'll do different videos, I'll do makeup videos sometimes, I'll do videos about my clothes, because people are curious being a little person and stuff like that. So I have I have a lot of variety within my channel, my TikTok channel. And then now with Facebook, they've created this Reels thing, which is just kind of like a version of TikTok.
Sure.
So I've been able to now take some of my videos from there, viral videos, and put them on Facebook. And next thing, now they're, my platform on there is kind of boosting up as well, which is great. But I have, I do 2 to 6 hours a day on lives. So it is a proper job.
Wow.
Yeah,
2 to 6 hours live. I mean, that's
crazy.
as much as most, like,
That's
it's
what
funny.
we do in podcasting.
Well, or most radio guys that think that they have a legitimate job and that they're like, I'm killing it on radio. It's like she's doing the same thing on a more relevant platform for longer.
Yeah, by yourself with better entertainment. You're not just doing lists and top 10 best cities.
Yeah, you're actually doing your own stuff.
Financially, it's not as rewarding probably either. But you know what? I figure at the end of the day, it's, right now I feel like I'm in a really good place with my stand-up comedy act. Thanks to TikTok and social media, I've been doing a lot more storytelling, and that's, I found, where my strength is. And so I've always been kind of a storyteller in my stand-up, but now I'm really just balls out, just doing it and enjoying being on stage and putting a message out there as well as comedy.
You're a great communicator, because that was my next question. I was going to ask you if you have been using these lives on TikTok in order to sort of practice new bits or to try out new material, and I think you just answered that. Do you use it as sort of like a training tool?
Well, I just sort of almost fell into it because, going on TikTok Live and it being kind of almost like a younger person's platform originally, but the Gen X's are taking over that bitch. But anyway, people on TikTok or on social media are always like, what are your biggest challenges? What are your biggest problems? And they always want to talk about that. And I realized because of lockdown and everything that people were not just locked down physically, but they were locked down mentally. And I'm like, you know what, you guys? I just turned 51. Been doing stand-up comedy 32 years, traveled all around the world. I've performed in castles for presidents. I've been scuba diving, parasailing around the world, horseback riding. Let's talk about all the great things I have done with my life, not the negative. So that's where I'm really pushing out.
You scuba dive?
I've been scuba diving in Turkey, the Cayman Islands, and the Philippines.
We got to get you in. We got to get her in here. I
we-
mean, this Zoom thing is not going to cut it because you got too many stories, man. We got to get you in here.
Yeah.
Anytime you want, I'm all for it. I could talk to you.
I love it.
Cows come home.
I love it.
Daniel and I are divers. I'm advanced.
He's advanced.
He's a Groupon.
Groupon diver.
He's also a patty diver, and you and I are probably Nowie. We know what we're doing.
Oh, well, I'll go with scuba diving with you any day of the week. I think I was a fish in a former life.
It's awesome, right?
I love being under the sea.
Oh, it's so fun. It's crazy. Let's talk about being a little person for a little bit. Peter Dinklage in the news. I mean, yesterday, I read it. He was kind of going hard on the new Disney reboot of Snow White. They have cast I believe, a Latin woman to play Snow White, and I think maybe he was a little concerned about what we're going to do with, obviously, the other part where you got a lot of little people that traditionally are used for the dwarves or dwarves. Like, did you read the article? Do you have an opinion on that at all? Or
Actually, yesterday I did an interview from Dunkin' Donuts for a talk radio in my Wi-Fi at home is really terrible right now. In the UK, actually, I did a talk show radio yesterday. It was supposed to be a British TV talk about the same thing as well. So here's my take on it. Peter Dinklage is a phenomenal actor. Classically trained.
Yeah.
Pretty much grew up in New York, had, hung out with writers and directors and was, had parts written for him. Once you win an acting award, you can pretty much call the shots on anything you get. But you know what? It's called Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Hence, it's in the title. You want to have dwarfs. That's 7 acting jobs for dwarf actors that could, and it's a Disney production that could lead to heck knows how many, other jobs. And don't minimize, literal, no pun intended, their chance of opportunity.
Yeah, I was talking to my wife, and I didn't feel comfortable saying, I'm not a little person. I am a little person. I'm 5'2", but I'm not an official little person.
Welcome to the family.
Yeah, but what's funny about it is that I thought the same thing that you just said, and I feel more comfortable after hearing, somebody who is a little person say it. When I saw that, I was like, well, man, that's a pretty easy thing to say when you are arguably the most recognizable little person on the planet.
Yeah.
On the planet.
You're not going to have any issues getting a job.
You're top little person, right? Like, he is the guy right now. and has been for quite some time. So I don't want to diminish what he's saying either. I mean, that's his opinion. But when I saw it, I'm like you. I'm like, man, those are jobs. And if I had just moved to L.A. as a little person and Disney was rebooting it, but they were still keeping them as dwarves, and they cast me in it, I think I'd be pretty excited about it.
Absolutely. I mean, just the fact that it's not your just average production. It's Disney.
Right.
And this really could lead to so many opportunities for 7 very potentially talented individuals.
Sure.
So why not give them that leg up? And then at that point, they can then have some say in the roles that they choose, and maybe they potentially win an Academy or Golden Globe or whatever.
Sure.
But they need to start somewhere.
Am I correct in thinking that maybe he had, like, I assumed that what he wanted was them to sort of reboot or turn the whole Seven Dwarfs thing on its edge, sort of make it something completely different. And I think if you made it like 7 like all different, like kind of Captain Planet, where you have like heart and fire and water and different, then everybody's gonna bag on that and be like, we just go back to the dwarves. This is stupid.
This is it. You're like, for my career, 32 years now, it's like, I heard, we're not being represented on TV or movies. We're not being represented in the entertainment business. Then you do something and they're like, you're not doing it right.
Right.
And you're like, for
There you go.
heaven's sakes.
Perfectly
You
said.
can't win. You're always going to piss somebody off.
Yeah.
And I mean, Peter Dinklage has a great platform. And like I said, he has been phenomenal for our community. But dude, you're way above the rest of us.
Right.
So just let somebody have a opportunity.
Right.
Well, Tanya Lee, it reminds me, and media does this because all media is lazy and they want to do a story and then move on to the next story, but they'll talk to Peter Dinklage or Tanya Lee and then get your take on something that's happening in society, like that has to do with little people, or maybe the M word or something like that,
Sure.
and then ask you, and then therefore be like, well, she said it or he said it, and that's what everybody feels.
Right.
That's not how it works. Like, we're all different humans. Like, everybody has a different opinion.
Yeah.
It's almost more offensive to do that. Yeah.
You're not the spokesperson
That's
for all little
insulting.
people.
That's so insulting.
But it's what media does all the time, and I'm sure now there's opportunity for promotion. I'm sure you and everybody knows that. It's like that. It happened to us last week where the media was interviewing us because Bob Saget was in town, and when he passed away, we were one of the last interviews. And it was almost like there was no story there, and we were doing the interviews, but it was on nothing. And we were like,
nothing.
Like, we don't know Bob Saget personally, and like we did interview him a couple days ago, but everything's in the interview, and it was weird. But that's what it was just like they need to fill time.
Right. I watched the big ice storm that came through. I was in Virginia doing shows up north, and my husband's from North Carolina, so we're trying to get from Newport News, Virginia to Eden, North Carolina. And we got caught in the ice storm, but it was like some guy was sitting there talking about the ice blowing across the snow on the Weather Channel, and he was bending over and he was all intense. It was like, this is so weird. Why are you talking about this?
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, you were doing shows in Newport News, huh?
Yeah, Cosby's Comedy Club.
That's my mom was born in Newport News. You never really hear people say Newport News, but I mean, apparently you're all over the South. You're mentioned in places we know. That's crazy.
Oh, well, it's just nice to be getting back on the road after, 18 months of not touring. This is what I meant to do, and it's great. I've never been to Porky's Comedy Club, so I'm really excited.
They're good folks.
Barbecue.
Yeah, they're good folks. And shout out again to Dunkin' Donuts for excellent Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Gotta
awesome.
give him a little
Such a
love.
noisy
America
restaurant.
runs on Dunkin'. I'm obligated to say that.
Tanya Lee, I got to ask you a question because you mentioned something that we had another comic at one time on the show mention, and it was performing for a president. And we interviewed the amazing Jonathan one time, and he told us a story about performing for George W. back in it was the 90s.
It was Yakov Smirnoff.
Yeah, it was performing for presidents.
Roseanne Barr and the amazing Jonathan.
Yeah, and they performed for George W. and then the president of France and then when you mentioned it, it got me thinking. I was like, was this something that they used to do more of? That I don't hear it that often. And so tell us your story because I'm super curious.
Okay, so mine was actually international. I was living in Las Vegas at the time. My ex-husband was a poker dealer, and so I was up to the wee hours in the morning. There's an 8-hour time change from the UK. So a Australian comedian who's got a high profile in the UK, Adam Hills, was meant to do this big televised banquet show in Dublin, Ireland, at the castle with the president, with all these sports. He got appendicitis. So they called me and said, okay, we're flying you out in 8 hours to Dublin to perform. So it was this televised event. They had a stage in the middle of the room, this gigantic banquet hall. The stage is only like about 8 inches high, and I've got to stand on a chair. So you've got people all around you, and I'm tiny, and they're not a comedy artist, they're on big round table. It was the worst gig ever. And I'm mic'd up, so I do my first couple of lines, and they come back and they go, sorry, the sound's bad, because it's for TV, so we have to redo it. So as a comic, there goes your whole opening lines, right? So I got to redo it, and I was like, well, this crap's not going to be funny again. And that was probably the biggest laugh I got throughout the whole thing.
Oh, just being real. Yeah.
It was brutal.
You have so many stories.
She's been doing it for 32
We just
years.
gotta, and you live in Florida now, huh? This is home?
Yeah, well, until March, I'm actually moving to Las Vegas.
Hey!
Back to Vegas.
I love Florida, don't get me wrong. I love you. But the humidity, the sweat rolling down the crack of my ass in the summertime, and the bugs. When you're only 3'3", the Florida bugs are no joke.
I never thought about that.
Oh my God, they're massive. I could anyway, I'm moving to Vegas where the heat is dry, and I might be getting my own residency. I've been offered a couple of venues. So
Unbelievable.
That's awesome.
That is the way to do it, man. I hope that happens. I'll knock on wood and wish on a lucky star that happens for you. That'd be amazing.
When we were out there, we were, we interviewed Carrot Top and we talked to him. He lives in Orlando and he's got a house here.
Yeah, for some parts of the year.
And he loved doing the residency for that
the way
long.
to do it, man.
It seems like that's a sweet gig. It's just the lack of travel. You're doing
a good setup,
an exciting. The audience is excited because everybody's on vacation,
and it's
you're
a
in
room
Vegas.
of people that want to be there. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I'm not going to be at Carrot Top level. And by the way, Scott is phenomenal. His show, among the comedy world, he gets a lot of flack being a pop act. But I got to tell you, he is phenomenal. He puts on such a great show. He puts 157% into every show. And if you go to Vegas, definitely go see Carrot Top.
Yeah, for sure. Well, hopefully we'll get to see you and Carrot Top. That would be pretty cool if you get your residency.
Mine will be more like a lounge on Fremont Street kind of thing, like a little bit smaller, but we'll see.
Well, Tanya Lee Davis is going to be at Porky's Comedy Club. You can get your tickets at porkyscomedyclub.com.
Do it.
It's in St. Cloud.
Make
it's
a
great
night
room.
of it. Go out there and hang out.
Yeah, Friday and Saturday nights.
Yep. Tanya Lee, thank you so much for calling us. We really appreciate it. This is the best Dunkin' Donuts interview we've ever done.
True.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
well, anytime you want me on, hopefully I can do it from home next time. The Wi-Fi sorted out.
I love it.
Great.
While
and
you're
follow
there,
her on TikTok too.
Yeah, follow her on TikTok, and while you're at Dunkin', try the snacking bacon. My daughter loves it.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
All right. Take care.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you. Take care. She was really cool, right?
Yeah, super nice.
A lot of stories. Lot of stories.
And
32 years on the road, my goodness. As a little person, woman.
Yeah.
Lots of stories, right?
Yeah.
Tons.
Oh, she's tough. She's tougher than I'll ever be.
So tough.
Yeah.
I'm getting those Deb from Jim Colbert show vibes.
Yeah.
Like seeing a lot of stuff, can roll with anybody. Nothing's gonna faze her.
Yeah,
the worst of the club hotels or club homes. When the comedy clubs, they buy a house offsite or near the site.
Yeah.
And then they put the comics up in the club home. I bet she's seen the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she did Last Comic Standing early too.
Oh, we didn't even ask her about that.
Which
You're
they
right.
used to do that too. They used to have them all in one house together.
Yeah, that's not really a thing anymore, right?
No, they stopped doing that.
They kind of streamlined it into just show up.
They started all fighting each other.
Right.
We'll reach out to her again, especially if she gets a residency out in Vegas. We'll talk to her about it for sure.
Now, I couldn't help but notice that during that interview, our friend with a pressure washer came back and started back up. Does that mean that Kratom Kerry has broken
Is he outside?
in?
Did you guys lock the door when you came back from lunch?
That's the sound.
I didn't.
Yeah. That's the sound when he's around.
It's a around sound.
Yeah, a blower, anything. It's like
It's kind of like.
You're like, oh, he's coming.
God damn it.
All right, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Would you guys like to... Did we have a game plan here?
No.
Voicemail?
Yeah.
Little voicemail?
As you can hear, the pressure washer still out there.
It's really getting at Tom today.
Should we
You
tell...
can't even power through the pressure
Would it make you
washer.
uncomfortable if I went and talked
Live
to him
on
live on the
air.
air? I will walk from this spot.
Bring your phone.
I will walk from this spot out there, and I will just say, hey, can you give us 20 minutes?
No, but he's doing his job.
I'm doing my job.
That's true.
I'm doing my job.
Yeah. I
Like,
know,
hey,
but
can you pressure wash after 4 p.m. in front of our building?
But then I
How
think,
late are they out there?
like,
This guy, I mean, this
is that
guy's-
noise
he's gonna be-
diminishing the experience? I mean,
Now, you could make an argument that the noise, and this is the way I've always rationalized it in my crazy brain, is that true listeners of this program will like this because it's a difference in audio. What I mean by that is you listen to a lot of shows, a lot of regulars that like real radio.
It's going to be standard.
Yeah, you'll listen all day, and you get like basically a standard show. Now, I will say that a lot of shows now do sort of a hybrid where it's like some people are in one location, some people are in the main studio. I think Sean Wasson, I think they're all remote. I think they're just like us, except they're live, but they're from their own studio.
Yeah.
We're from our own studio. But, you know, like with all of that being said, I feel like we're the only show that gives you the true 3D audio experience. Atmos.
It's
Dolby.
almost like you're here with us.
This is Dolby Atmos.
Yeah.
We give you the Tom and Dan Dolby Atmos. That hopefully that's copywritten in it. But, it doesn't matter. Dolby Atmos, Tom and Dan. We give you the full 3D sound. Feel the sound. 360 degrees of sound.
Sometimes we just add the pressure washer.
Yeah, is this a
after.
real?
Yeah. Is
Is
someone
this a
actually out there?
post-production?
Yeah.
Is there someone out there? Or am I just adding that? Do I just go to my CD collection of sound effects that I stole from Dave Green, and I put in a CD and I fire up? Now that you think, see, your mind is telling you that's a pressure washer. It's not. It's small engine number 5.
Okay,
Small engine number 5. But you can use that for anything. Go-kart, golf cart, pressure wash. You see what I'm doing?
Yeah. It's hauling ass if it's a golf cart.
It's pegged.
I can't wait till they start spraying the door like they do every time.
Yeah.
Last time they got the window and mud came through. I was like, what the hell? Oh,
That was
no.
not mud.
Lee used to sit here.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did.
All right, let's do some voicemail.
All right, voicemail messages. Leave us one through our Tom and Dan app. First to have an app, and also first to never update it.
You reminded me of the email. I gotta email
I know.
Man.
We got
gotta email them.
We got so much going on
we gotta
today.
email
The hot
everybody.
sauce. I gotta get the
hot
couches.
sauce.
Gotta get the couches.
You gotta get the
What
couch.
couch?
The TVs.
I thought you said we gotta get the gauchos, and I'm like, Mexican cowboys? We'll never find any Mexican cowboys.
They're
All right,
out there.
Here we go.
Tom and Dan and Sam. Hey guys, it's Kenny. I know everyone always talks about Matthew Stafford looking like Tom or Tom looking like Matthew Stafford, but there's a new candidate, Joe Burrow. He looks like a younger Tom Van. Like if Tom Van and a healthy Macaulay Culkin had a kid, it would be Joe Burrow, the quarterback of the Bengals. All right, love you guys. Bye.
No, your hair is too wavy. Your hair is too long to even be anywhere close to Joe Burrow.
He looks more like Macaulay Culkin than me.
He definitely looks more like a Culkin.
Here's
You think he looks like a Culkin?
Yeah.
Culkin!
Here's what's unfortunate is I look less like Matthew Stafford than I used to.
You do.
And we've aged at the same time. It's not like he got younger.
He's looking more attractive.
Well, he's leaned out. You both have leaned out.
You know,
And
playing
Tom's
football.
nose got hookier and redder.
Whoa, that is insulting as all hell.
Oh
my, hookier.
Oh my
She just said you got a hook nose.
She called me a hooky
nose.
ready.
She called you a hooky ready. You are a red-faced, hook-nosed alcoholic is what I heard.
It's a disease.
And you beat your wife. That's what I heard. This guy's alcoholic beats his wife, hook-nosed. I knew I was the good one.
This is a
That's the
disease.
most
How dare
insulting
you
thing
are
you've ever said.
Shady? You are the worst person in Orlando.
In Orlando.
Yeah, you're not supposed to shame someone for their disease.
Yeah, my God. This
ca-
guy's got a
causes
drinking
red nose.
disorder.
I thought he
not my
was
fault.
snorting kratom with Kerry.
No, you don't snort it. You eat it.
Yeah. That makes my insides red.
I
can't see that.
I disagree, Kenny. I apologize. Let's see. Who
Now they're saying you look like Jim Brewer. That's more offensive than what
yeah,
I said.
but you look like the new Jim Brewer, which is weird COVID conservative Jim Brewer. That's who you look like. Where he's like, "What's up with these masks?" And he does the goat thing, but he's like anti-mask. He's like, I don't know why anybody's wearing. And he does that weird laugh. You know, I don't know why anybody's wearing a mask. I'm Jim Brewer. What are you doing? Just go away, Jim. We don't need you right now. Now's not the time. We're all, well, look, this mask thing's hard enough without you goat boying it. Get out of here.
Yeah. I like 2.5 baked.
Yeah, go back to that Jim Brewer.
With Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
You kind of do look like Jim
Oh,
Brewer.
how dare you.
yes.
Samantha's. Oh.
I didn't bring it up. They did it in the chat, and now that I'm looking at it, I
I've done
can
nothing
see
to
it.
you. I've done nothing
She
to
just
you.
wanted to get that ink on the contract dry before she started talking about your hook nose.
I did
Yuck.
do the male.
Ew, you're so gross.
I did do that male stripper thing.
Well, that's a forever payback.
And I put you in a lot of dangerous situations.
Yes, including on a boat trip to nowhere.
Yeah. Also earlier today.
Yeah.
Okay.
I tried to warn you. I
And-
read the book. I read the book.
This particular voicemail I'm going to play you right now, I can't concentrate. I played it like 9 times. I don't know what the guy's saying because I get caught up in the Fat Boy Slim.
Guys, I got a question for you. I'm driving on I-4 tonight and noticed some bad drivers as usual. But I just wonder what the psychology is that when you're driving along and someone is just not driving the way you want them to, whether too slow or too fast, or you know, they change lanes in front of you, cut you off, and people will absolutely lose their shit about those people. But if you were like, you know, like someone's coming in through the outdoor or out through the indoor and you're kind of in your way, you kind of just do a little dance and you laugh and you chuckle, or you say you're good if someone accidentally bumps into you as they're walking by. But I don't know, man. In a car, you're just like, and I know this, but it still doesn't keep me from, you know, I don't get like road rage, but I do get fucking. I'm like, well, that fucking idiot is so fucking.
Okay, sorry, Sam. Tom was like saying, "Keep going. She deserves it."
I
wasn't
I was
gonna.
gonna let him like
Tom's
say
like,
more.
let him release the F words. Release the F words. She deserves all of it. My hook nose approves. My hook nose approves.
So, this is the same psychology behind why no one's ever said anything.
I can't hear you over the pressure.
Rhino! It's bothering me every second.
He can't get over it. We can move the engine. It's sitting right here.
No, never touch a
He's
man.
way down there at the end, but he's got it sitting right out
Go
here.
out there and just go out there and just like flip those.
He probably has headphones on, right?
So,
yeah, he'll never know.
No, they don't. They don't. That's what bothers me too. They do it without
headphones?
headphones. They just listen to the sound of the
wait a
washer.
minute.
This looks like a young Tom Van out here pressure washing.
Oh my God!
Is he white? Everybody that's white looks the same.
He got a hook nose?
I can't tell. He turned his back,
Now,
but he
what
looks
if-
like you.
No, wait a minute. Everybody talks about like the future and look at the Cybertruck and electric car this and Tesla Plaid and brr, 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 but you mean to tell me we can't have an electric pressure washer that's 10 times faster? 100 times faster?
Half the water is coming out of the hose right here where it's connected, so there's not that much pressure coming out of that thing.
No.
They'll never remember to charge it.
You're
And
right.
they'll get to the job and it'll be like, oh, God, Tony didn't charge it.
Put it on the supercharger. That takes 40 minutes. Oh, God.
So anyway, the psychology is the same with why people don't say the same things they say on the internet to our faces, right?
Right.
It's because, so when you're not in your car and you bump into someone that like walking into a door or whatever, you're not going to get as mad because now you're just standing there facing the person. So you're like, people's default, I think, is just polite, non-confrontational. When you're in essentially a metal tank driving, you feel empowered, right? And then
Yeah,
there's
you're
distance.
right.
there's distance between the other person.
They're all tools, right? Car is a tool. Facebook's a tool. When you're using a tool and you're not just bare or naked in front of the person, you're not vulnerable.
Yeah.
This all makes sense.
And so, like, you're getting mad at the other person. There's not that connection because you're disconnected from being in two cars. I think that all plays into it, right?
Gotcha.
You know, no one's that aggressive on the streets. Some people will try to fight you for no reason, but usually they're crazy, right?
Normally, yeah. Normally, they're crazy.
Or drunk at a sporting event or something. You know,
or on that Russian drug crocodile. You guys want to try?
I haven't heard about that in a while,
There's
right?
a new one that I saw on TikTok. And these videos, I hate these videos, where it's like the person filming somebody having a drug overdose, and then they're like filming them, and I'm like, yeah, you should have called 911. Or at least I called 911 before I started filming this TikTok. That would make me feel better.
Yeah. I think everybody's default now, which is sad, is just film it.
I know.
Which is just
call 911 first. If you're going to film it. I'm
Yeah.
serious when I say this.
Yeah.
The least you can do is call 911 and say, yeah, there's a guy here. I believe he's on some sort of medication. He's freaking out. Then when you're done with that, then feel free to film.
Yeah.
I don't think you can do both. I don't think my phone does that.
Yeah.
I think you will like this voicemail, Tom. Yeah, that's a goodie.
Hey, Tom and Dan. I'm not a BDM because screw you.
Oh, wow.
But had a story that I hadn't thought about in forever. But growing up, I lived next door to my grandpa who had like an aircraft salvage yard. So basically like a car junkyard, but with old airplanes. And there was one that I would go in the middle of summer, and I can't remember why I would do it. I would crawl in, and it would just be hot crawling inside this old hole. And there was one particular spot where there was like a round inspection panel, and one of the screws I had taken out so you could flip it open, and I would sit inside the hot airplane and I would poop down into, I guess, the cavity hole, like the empty area between the inside and outside. And I did that probably twice a week for a year, and it would stink so bad and be so hot when I was in there, but I always kind of felt like I deserved the misery.
It's my voicemail of the week. Sir, we're gonna put $1,000 in your hand for that disgusting voicemail. You win. You're our winner. That's my favorite voicemail we've ever had. This guy would get inside his grandpa's airplane salvage yard. He'd find an old plane, crawl inside the stinky hot hole, and crap in a little hatch. He found a poop hatch. And he'd poop in the hatch twice a week for years. And then he emailed me back because I emailed him and I said, I have a feeling that my business partner, Old TV, is going to want you on the show because you got the goods. And he emailed me back, and he gave me a little nugget, pun intended, that he said, he went on to say that he was like, yeah, when I was in there, you know, like pooping and, you know, like taking care of myself, yada, yada. And I was like, hold on a second. I did reply back to him, but I did say when I was reading, I was like, no, hold on a damn minute. You were doing both 1 and 4?
In the hot
junkyard? You were doing 1, 2, and 4. Because a 1 is a 1, a 2 is a brown, or a 2 is a 2.
Yeah. A
3 is a loose 2, and a 4 is a white 1.
Yeah.
So he's doing 2 and 4.
And a 2 comes with a 1 most times.
Most of the time.
But he's adding a 4, which is disgusting.
It is disgusting. That's your grandpa's plane, man.
And makes you insane. Like a lot of it.
What about the number 2? Does that make you insane?
Not once. Once is just
necessity.
See. Yeah. The fact that
for twice.
What about twice? I think twice. I give him 2.
You know, a lot of guys. I think this is a guy thing. Like my friends used to poop off of bridges.
It is a guy thing. Guys like to put their poop places.
Yeah.
Google that. Google why guys poop different places.
Yeah. Is that part of marking your territory?
It's
I'm gonna guess there is something.
It's that mixed with being dumb and then just
and liking gross stuff.
Thinking poop is funny.
It's funny.
Yeah, I remember my buddy Andy. He told me one day we were sitting on my couch.
You guys are called serial poopers.
Wait, that's a thing?
Yeah.
And my buddy Andy, we're sitting.
Condition?
There's a BBC article about it.
And
that's crazy.
We're sitting on the in my couch in my old duplex near UCF, and he's like, "Hey, come film me do something." And I went outside. And
That's a dangerous
and he climbed on the roof and got to the edge and was kind of like owling on the edge with his rear facing my yard. And then he just went off the roof into a igloo cooler that he opened up.
It was an off-brand.
And I filmed it. And then I was like, what is this
And that's
for?
when you knew you wanted to be in entertainment, right?
Zoomed
That's
in
when
and-
you're like, I'm going to be a podcaster.
And then we showed it to everybody.
Hey, look at this video. I
It's
mean,
so
look,
dumb.
he got it right in the cooler.
It
Didn't even hit the lip.
No, it hit the top too, and then all over my my patio. But it was a mold. It was all.
Hopefully it rains.
Lived in squalor.
Ghost of Manute Bull and very Ghost. I think I did this as well.
A quote in this is, I mean, somebody who defecates in public has mental health issues. It's as simple as that. If you're socialized, that's the last thing that you'd want to do.
That's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Ghost of Manute
It's
Bull.
a young man's game.
And I think I have one of these stories too. Remember the one where I was playing Army? Ghost of Manute Bull says, when I was a little kid, I once went outside and dug a hole in the yard to poop in just to do it.
Right.
I buried it like a cat, and I went inside for a PBJ.
Yeah.
Did you wipe?
Yeah, I did that. I did that in my Army pants, and I didn't wipe. And I had to walk like Tom does, you know, like stiff cheeks. I had to stiff cheek it all the way home, which was about a mile.
Oh my god!
So I had to walk. I was walking like a Russian soldier. Like I walked all the way home, and I remember when I got home, I wiped and cleaned myself up, did my thing, and put my my Army Navy store pants back on, and away we went. Probably had a PBJ too with milk, ice cold milk, 1 ice cube.
Mm-hmm.
I remember in college, the Grizz tried to poop inside a light socket in some girl's dorm room.
How does that even work?
Well, it didn't work.
Did he take the plate off, or is he trying to
Right.
go through the prong
Yeah,
holes?
it was through
Through the prongs?
Through the prong holes? This guy's a blatant idiot.
Yeah.
He's the
What an
dumbest
idiot.
person. You know what?
Well,
Text him that
what,
he's
he
the
stick his
dumbest
butt
person.
against the wall?
You
were
can't
all
do that. What is it, Play-Doh Fun Factory?
We were like, she's gone, do it through the and then
Wait, get a screwdriver. No, we don't have time to take the plate off. You have to go through the plug holes. You guys are idiots.
Well, that's the theme. You think this guy is a genius? He went in a hot plate for two times a week. Why did he keep doing it?
He said he felt like he deserved it.
Yeah, he felt like at some
Oh,
point
it's a self-punishment, like whipping yourself in the back.
Wait, he sent me a follow-up email. Hold on.
man.
I'm going to find
What
this.
did he do to deserve that?
I'm going to find this follow-up
It's
email.
not a BDM, so.
Hold on. Plug something while I find the follow-up, because you need this. You need this.
Why don't you get yourself a new slouchy beanie? You can poop in it if you want. We won't judge you.
Yeah, do whatever you want. It's at tomandan.com under our merch
Yeah,
section.
yeah.
We've got hammocks, we got belts, we've got bandanas, we have T-shirts.
We got makeup bags.
Yeah,
We
make-
got it all. You can
dot
poop in that
tips.
too. It's big enough.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, he
You can
goes
poop
on.
in all of our merch.
Basically, he goes on to say that at one point when they were selling the land and getting rid of everything, he stood there and watched as a crane picked up the plane that he crapped in for 20 years or whatever, and they put it in an incinerator, and he watched it melt and burst into flames, and he laughed.
Well, this is the guy that's gonna kill us. I quit him, Kerry. He's fine.
Man.
It's this
I
guy.
can't find the
Poop plane.
Poop plane
Like,
man.
that's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
I can't find the email, but yeah, he said.
But it's also dumb things kids do. Like, kids do a lot of dumb things, you know, and for no reason. And you ask them, why'd you do that? And
Yeah,
they're just like,
kids are
I don't know.
dumb.
You know, my sons are going to do this because they do stuff all the time. I'm like, why did you do that? And they're like, I don't know. Yeah, you're thinking that. And I'm like, oh, you're me.
Oh, there's more. He's also I think he's also the same guy who was listening to our show, and we did a show about just horsing around where a couple was having sex with a horse, and his wife heard it, and she asked what show it was so she could go, and she canceled his BDM subscription.
That's
yeah,
why
that's
he's
the
not
guy,
a
yeah.
BDM.
Yeah, that's him. That's him.
All right, well.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Oh, wait. Well, yeah, during your voicemail, you sounded like you're all tough and saying, yeah, your wife canceled your membership.
Yeah,
I was like,
keyword.
I leave him alone. He's
yeah,
fine.
yeah, that's what people who poop in planes do.
Does your wife know you pooped in a plane? Maybe then she would look at you differently instead of horsing around. It's not that bad. Listen to a podcast isn't as bad as pooping in a plane.
We're making jokes about a horse. Like, yeah, you were actually doing
Defecating
it.
twice a week.
Yeah, in a hot
You
plane.
guys are mean. I'm with you, sir. You're fine. You poop where you want to. And you know what? It was a
You
little.
can poop where you want
He had
to.
a special thing between him and his grandpa. You know. And who are you guys?
Did Grandpa know he was doing
No, but or maybe he did. Maybe he turned a blind eye to it. He was out there crapping in the plane again. I like it. I like it. He spends time with me, that boy.
It would be cool if your grandfather owned a junkyard and you were a kid and you just ran around the junkyard.
I hung out in quite a few junkyards as
I
a
guess
child.
I guess it's not cool. Right?
It is cool.
It's fun.
It would be cool because you'd have a lot of things to poop.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, I mean,
Can't say that I ever pooped there, but
and there's probably just a lot of spiders everywhere and rattlesnakes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I bet a lot of animals get into that junk and live there, right? So,
not
like,
the ones I was at. But I mean, I wasn't there at night though.
like the junkyards in Bithlow.
well,
like,
you get like a dog that lives in the yard,
Yeah,
right?
definitely a dog.
well,
that
yeah,
lives there.
yeah, but I'm talking about like the spiders and the reptiles and the like all the little animals that like squeeze in the junk and then make homes out of it, right? I imagine.
I would imagine, yeah.
There's
Although,
rats in there. And,
like, I don't see many airplane graveyards in real life. You know,
that's a desert thing.
yeah, right. Or a Forza 5 thing where you race in video games, you drive cars over because they always use the airplane wings as like a ramp.
We've got tons
It's it's cheaping out if you ask me.
like
Yeah.
Junkyard Alley, like down 50. There's
On
a
Bithlow. I showed you that commercial
Yeah,
about
yeah,
the salvage yard.
Well, how come we've never done that as a go-to show? That
We
might be
should.
kind of fun.
That would be fun.
Tom and Dan go to the junkyard or go to the dump. I used to love to walk around with a dump.
We
at
got
the dump
stuff we got to take.
with my dad because I'd find porno. Every time I go to the dump, I'd find porno.
Yeah.
I'd stash
You know-
some.
But do you think you still would in 2022?
No, digital
Right?
porno.
Yeah, it doesn't.
we gotta find the digital junkyard. Is
Yeah.
there a place in the metaverse where all the byproducts of what we do goes? The junk? Because we need to walk through there.
You load up all your NFTs, you drive to the dump.
Yeah, a bunch of MySpace passwords, some ICQ, some stupid AIM, that AIM guy, that little yellow boy, the yellow man, you know?
Yeah. A bunch of Cosby memes.
Yeah, dunking the martini glass. Yeah.
This is an old
Charlie
meme.
bit my finger. He's like 25 now.
Yeah. All right. Bye-bye.